What common identity do you share with your classmates? You live in India, a country with political boundaries. Can you guess some of the common attributes that bind the citizens of India? In spite of several regional languages, we are bound by common languages such as Hindi or English. Although we come from different states and regions, we share a common Indian culture. We also share a common national history. We sing the same national anthem for every great occasion. We salute the national flag. Moreover, we are bound by the regulations of the central government, which consists of the members elected by us, the citizens of India. These common attributes give us the common identity of being Indian citizens. The common identity gives rise to a feeling of oneness and nationalhood. The concept of a nation started with sharing of common identity by a group of people in various aspects such as origin or history, culture, language, government, and national boundary. So, how do you define a nation? A nation is a group of people who share a common culture, ethnic origin, and language, often possessing or seeking its own independent government. The growth of various nation-states in the world is the result of an intense feeling of nationalism. Let us learn what the word nationalism means. This is our country before the colonial rule, and this is the image of present India. Our country was divided into several kingdoms before the colonial rule. Our nation was formed only after its independence in 1947. Similarly, Europe was a patchwork of small and big kingdoms. Look at the maps. The first map displays the various kingdoms of European history. The second map represents the present nations of Europe. How do you think this transformation took place? The transformation took place with the rise of nationalism in Europe. Let us look at the idea of nationalism as depicted by the French artist Frédéric Soriot. Frédéric Soriot prepared a series of 4 prints visualizing a world of democratic and social republic. He was believed to have an utopian vision of nationalism. Artists during the French Revolution personified liberty as a female figure with the torch of enlightenment on one hand and the Charter of Rights on the other. The print shows the people of Europe and America moving towards this statue in a train holding their representative flags. The shattered pieces and crowns in the foreground represent the shattered remains of the symbols of absolutist institutions. Absolutist means a government or system of rule that has no restraints on the power exercised. In history, the term refers to a form of monarchical government that was centralized, militarized, and repressive. What do you think the people walking with the flags represent? The people of the world are grouped as distinct nations represented by their distinct flags and national costumes. The position of each nation from the Statue of Liberty represents their status as a nation at that point of time. Leading the procession and way past the statue are United States and Switzerland, which were already nation-states. The French, represented by the revolutionary tricolor, have just reached the statue. They are followed by the Germans bearing their black, red and gold flag. Austria, the kingdom of 2 Sicilies, Lombardy, Poland, England, Ireland, Hungary and Russia. Soriot visualized and depicted the growth of nationalism, which emerged as a force to bring a sweeping change in the political and social world of Europe. Ernst Renan, the French philosopher, delivered a lecture at the University of Sorbonne in 1882 outlining the concept of a nation. The lecture was published in his famous essay, What is a Nation? Look at this small extract from Renan's idea of a nation. A nation is the culmination of a long past of endeavors, sacrifice, and devotion. A heroic past, great men, glory, that is the social capital upon which one bases a national idea. To have common glories in the past, to have a common will in the present, to have performed great deeds together, to wish to perform still more. These are the essential conditions of being a people. A nation is therefore large-scale solidarity. Its existence is a daily plebiscite. Can you relate Renan's definition of a nation with the existence of India as a nation? Recall French Revolution from your previous class. Recall the changes brought by French Revolution. The French Revolution transferred the sovereignty of France from the king to a body of citizens. The revolutionaries took various measures to create a sense of collective identity among the people. A new tricolor flag was introduced with the intent to replace the royal standard. A centralized administrative system and a uniform law for all within the territory were created to raise a sense of common identity. The Estate General was elected by a body of citizens named as the National Assembly. A uniform system of weights and measurements was introduced. French was adopted as common language for the nation. These events slowly spread through Europe with the members of the Jacobin Club. This club belongs to the less prosperous section of the society. This collective identity has given the people of Europe a common idea of nationalism. The activities of Jacobin Club paved the way for the French armies to move into Holland, Belgium, Switzerland, and Italy in 1790s. The French army spread the idea of nationalism abroad. However, the revolution soon converted into terror as several men began to compete for power. From 1793 to 1794, Robespierre administered the reign of terror. At the end of this region of terror, Napoleon came into power and changed the history of Europe. Napoleon brought about a major part of Europe under his control through his wars of liberation. Though Napoleon destroyed democracy, he brought revolutionary changes in Europe, which is reflected in the Napoleonic Code 1804. The Napoleonic Code stated equality before law and right to property, abolished feudal system and freed peasants from serfdom, removal of guild restrictions, improvement in transport and communication systems, common national currency facilitated mobility of goods and capital. Napoleon was a great king who brought about revolutionary changes in the administrative system. But the new administrative system of Napoleon destroyed political freedom. This resulted in increased taxation, strict censorship, forced conscription of people into the French army. Again, Napoleon's War of Liberation took predatory character in Europe. Though the French army was welcomed in the beginning, very soon it turned into hostility. Napoleon was defeated collectively by Prussia, Austria, Russia, and Britain in the Battle of Leipzig in 1813. Finally, the Battle of Waterloo completely demolished Napoleon from the political history of Europe. The fall of Napoleon led to a new concept of nationalism in Europe. Have a look at the brief timeline of Napoleonic era to know him better. The defeat of Napoleon and the destruction of the traditional power in France have led to the development of nationalhood in Europe. After Napoleon's fall, many of the territories in his empire began to feel a new sense of nationalism. Revolutionary armies propagated the slogan of liberty, equality, and brotherhood, and ideas of liberalism and national self-determinism. The rise and fall of Napoleon brought changes to how people of Europe perceived the idea of nationalism.